The following podcast is a presentation of Project Entertainment Network.
The fun begins after this message for your enrichment.
I figured out what it all means. I can solve the whole thing. I can fix it all. I just have to explain to people about how men and women are different, but we're the same. And I can destroy the patriarchy, because this is all an illusion.
Yeah, that sounds great, honey, but when was the last time you slept?
You aren't listening to me!
After suffering a psychotic breakdown triggered by the election of a powerful demagogue, Beth follows her husband Jason to a remote cabin where the two try to make their own world in spite of the increasingly volatile political climate. While the couple are trying their best to overcome Beth's break from reality, otherworldly arbiters conspire to change their lives forever.
You can't run anymore, Beth.
What?
You have to die through.
No!
It's the only way out of this. Chapter.
New from Birdcage Bottom Books, Woods is a horror story that confronts the traumas surrounding a loved one's battles with mental illness, questions the struggle of individual engagement in the collective, and imagines the possibilities of a world that transcends beyond earthly understanding. Woods by Mike Freiheit, birdcagebottombooks.com.
And now, on with the show.
Don't be scared now, but it looks like you just wandered straight into UMIND country. That's UMIND, short for Unaffiliated Mind Games, and you ain't never gonna be the same again. Brace yourself. It's time for a red-hot truth injection. Oh yeah, that's right. We're rounding up the sheeple and shaking them awake. You mind? Too damn bad. We're gonna set fire to the wool over your eyes. Feel the burn, baby. Hot damn. We're toppling the lies of the mainstream media one by one. Woo-wee. Watch them bad boys fall. Hey, Universe A. This is Universe B, call it, and we're gonna tear you a new one. You mind?
Okay, everybody. Hey, it is me, Napoleon Doom, with Horrorgasm, and I am here with Zombie Joe of Zombie Joe's Underground Theater. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how's it going, Napoleon?
It's good. It's good. I'm very excited. Very excited about your, I guess, theatrical troupe that you've put together. So for our listeners at home, tell us a little bit about what Zombie Joe's Underground Theater entails.
Well, we're very much like, we're a theater company, we're a theater group, more of a family than anything, of artists and performers and artists and like-minded, avant-garde theater people. And we produce, under normal circumstances, we produce a lot of shows every year that range from horror experiences. I wouldn't really call them immersive. I think immersive kind of has an all-encompassing, has a really mixed definition. But yeah, we do experiences, and we also do sit-down, full-blown, 49-seat as a 49-seat non-equity theater. We'll do some original works and Shakespeare. So our season. Every year, our season from January to December is comprised of very mixed experimental programming. We're always trying the next new thing to keep it interesting for ourselves and to keep it interesting for the audiences, our beloved audiences. And and it's right now is a very interesting, challenging time where, the us as artists, if you call us artists and theater people and haunters, we're challenged with this challenge of what we're surrounded with and what we're all going through and how we're all evolving as artists and as theater people.
Yeah, it is a really hard time for performers. And as you mentioned, this is not just a Halloween thing. This kind of goes on year round, but you do really sort of a spooky kind of creepy sort of a darker take on theatrical performance. Have you always been attracted to the spooky side of life?
Wow, definitely. I mean, I feel like my life is a living nightmare.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that.
I mean, both a beautiful, all-encompassing Technicolor nightmare, and at times, yeah, the demons lurking around the corner, just like the COVID. You know, it's I feel like for me personally, my waking hours and my sleeping hours, and the time that I spend creating and working with the people I love around me and stuff, it's all one stream of consciousness.
Yeah. Now I know that you do a bunch of different shows. See, there's Astroglide. There's the is it Urban Hauntings or
well,
yeah.
Urban Death is
Death. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
is our yep.
And you do just a whole bunch of different kind of things. Now you've mentioned COVID. How has COVID? Obviously, it's really rough for performers because your venues are limited. But then, how do you dress rehearsals? How has it changed things, and how have you found workarounds?
It's changed everything, and more than anything, it's been a real slowdown for us. As every project and everything we do, you know, we have to proceed with safety, and we're so used to just jumping in and creating shows. We'll rehearse and then mount one production, and then as soon as that show goes up, another show will go in rehearsals right behind it. So we're very much like a theater factory. You know, we create a lot of content only because we have such a voracious, passionate, talented company, a family. So we're constantly creating content to express ourselves and to share with our community, and to keep it interesting and exciting and bring you into our world. You know, for every show that we do, we want to bring you into our world and leave the outside world and come into our world. For, you know, some shows are 20 minutes and some up to an hour long.
Yeah. And you really do create just a whole, just open up the doorway to a different dimension when you go to a Zombie Joe show. And I guess, oh yeah. What's really your inspiration? Is it just all over the place, or is there one thing that you just always can draw upon? Let me get a little insight into that.
Yeah, I mean, we're, although I'm the leader of the company, and there is different, we have a first brood of leadership, and then there's different levels of involvement as an open door revolving company. Most of us stick around for a long time, and sometimes, you know, if there's any life changes, some of us will disappear for a little bit, but then come back. Just kind of like the San Fernando Valley, like it's said about living in the valley. No one ever gets out of the valley alive. I mean, you might move away for you know, a little bit, but everyone always ends up back in the valley. It's sort of like that with our company a little bit. I mean, that's not everybody, of course, but you know, everything as far as inspiration and what really moves us, that's always a chameleon. Wherever the source, the nucleus of our inspiration is. For me, as both a member of our group and leader of the group, I'm both, you know, I'm constantly tormented by, you know, by demons, challenged by God, challenged by each other. It's just one nonstop, and we really believe also as artists, we're constantly earning our seat. We never really own it. We're constantly earning it by growing, by changing. I'm in it and the group is in it to grow, to learn, to evolve, to get better at what we do. Hopefully every show we do is better than the one before it. Just, you know, just getting better and stronger all the time. And that's that's what we're in it for, to grow together, and to really, these shows that we do are the sands of our lives. And, anybody involved, I would always want you to look back on the show and go, wow, that was a great experience. And that was a real stepping stone. We're very much a stepping stone company. A lot of our members, a lot of our family members will do shows, and we grow, and we share our lives together as the years float by. This is our 28th year, 28th season, and we've produced hundreds and hundreds of different productions, and they're all beautiful in their own way, and they all have their own challenges, and they're very much a reflection of how we want to express ourselves. And there's nothing too taboo in our company. We express ourselves. We have no agenda. We have no, although lately we have been getting into film and streaming, which is very new to us, and that's been a whole learning experience. We really see every project and every rehearsal as a learning experience and as an experiment. It's an ongoing experiment for 28 years, really. Yeah. To be honest.
Yeah. Now, I like how you mentioned stepping stone. Can we talk a little bit about one of the stepping stones that you have going on? You have a GoFundMe currently happening.
The GoFundMe just ended.
Okay.
That was Save the NoHo Theaters campaign.
Yeah.
Because all of us were forced to put everything on hold. So the North Hollywood theaters all came together to try to raise funds for rent, and to help pay the bills while we had this slowdown. And so that was an amazing campaign, which just ended. We just, Nancy Bianconi just pulled it down, and she's sort of the leader, the queen of our district, and she helms NoHoArtsDistrict.com. That's her and Lisa lead that, and which is an amazing website.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people don't think about the fact that it's not just actors. It's you have stagehands, stage managers, makeup artists, lighting technicians. You have all these people who come together to make a show, and when you take those venues away, then they're just kind of like, oh, well, what are we going to do? Because in a lot of cases, it's a very specialized skill set, and that's your livelihood. And when that just has vanished, and so it's really great to hear that you are taking steps to help protect those people, and that you're part of making sure that when this all is over with, hopefully, that theater remains, that there's still art and there's still that form of expression that we can come back to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Safety is paramount,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's why we've been very methodical and careful with every project that we embark on, whether it's a Zoom project from our own homes, or streaming project, or practicing safety and upholding the law, and being part of the solution and not part of the problem. And
Yes.
we're sort of, as leaders in the community, for all of us, it's up to us to lead by example and be part of the solution. And even if that, yeah, it's true, like it's going to be probably a year of our lives where everything is changed. And when we all come back out of this, it's never going to be, everything's going to be different. And, and nobody really knows how that is week to week and day to day. And so it's a lot of, there's a lot of caution involved, even with our very challenging, very experimental, the journey, the wave that we're all riding is exciting, but it's also, we've had to introduce caution and safety into more than ever. It's always been there for us, but with all the wild stuff that we do, but more than ever, we definitely want to be part of the solution and not part of the problem and the spread of the problem.
Yeah, yeah. Now, how do you go about finding your actors, your scripts? Is it just like a standard audition? Do you find scripts online? Just let me get some insight into that process, because that sounds really exciting.
Let me ask you, Napoleon, are you available to do a show?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
and do you have a script that you have you written something
Yes.
that you want to do? All right, so that's yeah, so that's kind of how it is for us. And you know, I'd like to, I'm not sure if I believe in magic, or I'm always go back and forth about the spirits that be, but for us, there's definitely a spiritual element that brings us together. We hold regular auditions, but just as often as that, we our company members find us and we find each other, and we have referrals, we bring people in. Some of our audiences start from, you know, our community is not only us performers, artists, designers, but also we consider our, you know, our audiences are part of our community. We try to find out a little bit about our community, and with each person that comes through, it's very special if you're going to take your night out to come out and trust us and come see a show. We don't want to put up dog shit. You know, we want to put up something good that's worth your time. Some of our audiences, especially in October for haunt season, our audiences are used to coming from all over the world. I'm not sure about this haunt season, but you know, people come from all over the world to see a short little show. It better be worth it. It better be worth your time, the sitter, the energy, and you know. So we really try to value everybody's time above and beyond everything. Everybody's time is very valuable.
Yeah. So with your urban hauntings, now what's really interesting about this for me is there is no language barrier. This they're short vignettes, almost kind of like the tableau de vivant French style.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just like a little slice of life, but a very spooky, creepy slice of life. It's almost the same effect as when you go to a haunted house. You go move from room to room, and you have your hospital room, when you have your old Victorian bedroom and stuff, but it's on stage and it's just happening right before your eyes. That is such a great concept. And how did that originate? How did you come up with that and develop that?
Well, Jana Weimer and I created Urban Death.
I keep messing up the name, and I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. Not at all. No worries. We created Urban Death back in 2005. And so we perform, there's a couple different platforms and venues that we play. So we'll play Midsummer Scream each year. That will actually do little 15-minute shows for free for the public around the clock at Midsummer Scream. They'll provide us with our own performance venue, and we'll create a venue there at the convention. We also do Urban Death Tour of Terror, which is a maze with a show and a maze, and that's sort of our big show of the year in October. In October, we see more people in the month of October than all the other 11 months combined.
When people get in touch with their dark side. Yeah.
Exactly. As of last October, this October is going to be different, of course. But and then we also do a sit-down Urban Death, which is a show. It's you sit down with everybody, and it's almost like a horror museum coming to you. Urban Death, like a lot of our shows are wordless. We don't speak very many words, and that is so we cross, we cut through all the language barriers and the cultural barriers, and so you could literally be a non-English speaking person. You can speak, we speak the language of the heart, just like Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't know if that's the best example, but we could do Urban Death all over the world, and we have, and we'll bring in a little bit of the local culture, the local lore into the style and the ebb and flow of the show, and a normal Urban Death show, you'll get 40 to 50 pieces of terror, short vignettes, they're almost like little mini plays within themselves, all strung together with an original score. And a lot of it is, we cross all levels of horror and terror. We try to touch on a little bit of everything. and keep it timeless, so it could happen at any time, anywhere, kind of thing. So that's what's some of these things of it's what it made Urban Death like it's our big show. It's sort of our big, it's almost as big as Zombie Joe's Underground itself, you know, as a Zombie Joe Underground product production.
So it's kind of like what The Sims or Cirque du Soleil does, where they just do a complete made-up language, and they're just like, you know, it's about the emotion that this inspires in you. It's not about the words so much as, but what are some really fun experiences, like some really memorable experiences that you've had doing these shows over the years?
Well, for me, it's just being with the people I love and care about, and working with people that I respect and admire. Like, I see our group is like a collection of superheroes, just amazing, warm, talented artists. I'm trying not to be general about this either. Like, the most challenging thing during this period, there's been a lot of staying home and a lot of a lot of doing stuff over Zoom and workshopping stuff. So being with each other and creating, having a really good time and working hard. We're very much a blue collar theater company, and we build, erect stuff up together, and then we break it down, and we tweak it and put it back up, and everything is in progress, and everything is it's a journey, not a destination. Although the shows themselves are sort of a destination, in a way, a stopover. But for me, it's about working with people. Our audiences are beautiful and just as colorful as our company itself. So colorful and dynamic and just amazing, incredible people. So that for me is the part that I'm really looking forward to, when it gets safer, to really kind of going full steam ahead back in.
Now, you brought up the audiences, and that's something I'm really curious about. Do you ever get people who just did not know what they signed on for when they come in? Is the response generally positive? Do they come back for more? How does that go? Like, what is your...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's it exactly. We strive always we never settle. We always strive to put up the best experiences for everybody involved. It's a lot of hard work. It's hard work for us, and it's hard work for even our audiences. And most of the time, I think when people come through, they really, we want you to be able to come in and see what we're doing and enjoy it, and be able to trust us, just like Shakespeare did at the Globe, when, so if the Chamberlain's men were to put up, Henry V at the Globe, they can't obviously fight a whole battle with hundreds of soldiers on stage. They'll have one soldier bloodied up in costume come in and explain what happened at the battle. So it's very much partnering with the audience's imagination and with our own imaginations. And so our imaginations and our creativity are at least half of the experience, and we want you to be able to come in and feel good and trust us to have the experience and to come into our world for a little bit, and then you're welcome to go back to your world, but we want to give you that experience if you're taking the time to trust us and come out and see a show with us.
I think that's one of the things that I love so much about theater is that you're not spoon-fed. So much of what's happening on the stage or in the surroundings is occurring in your mind. And these actors are just giving you the template for you to build this world for yourself, for you to experience. And so every person is getting a unique experience from that. And I think that's what makes theater so dynamic and so alive. And are there any plans for the future, either during this pandemic or in the time to come afterwards, that you can tell us about, that you can tease us with a little bit?
You're super sweet, Napoleon. Really appreciate it. Yeah, we're working on a couple of different projects right now. They're very special and they're very exciting. And hopefully we'll be able to launch them and announce them soon as everything is safe. And we've been working on a few different projects that I think are going to be really exciting for everybody. And they're smaller scale projects than we're used to, but they're definitely, they're definitely tailored for the time that we're in, and maybe where we're all going toward, like the direction all of us are heading as everything changes. I mean, nothing will ever be the same again. So we're really trying to carefully, strategically put these. I know this sounds very general, but this actually is what it is for us. So. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's interesting because I've noticed a trend. I know that a couple of years back, the San Diego Opera went bankrupt, and they started bringing out their smaller productions. Instead of doing the full-scale Carmen with the costumes and the elaborate sets, they do the Tragedy of Carmen, which is much shorter and much more pared down, just very bare bones. And people gave it a much stronger response than they had in the past because it felt more inclusive.
Right.
Do you feel like that's maybe the direction that theater's going in, that people want that more intimate experience?
It's hard to say. And it really, I feel, Napoleon, it really depends. Like, it seems like you're also talking to staying in touch with a lot of people in the community. As we are, we're definitely, in touch with everyone and doing our ample research to really try to get a pulse on it. And it's very, I think there's different pulses, there's multiple pulses about whether theater's headed toward being more intimate or being more inclusive, or both at the same time. Yeah, and you mentioned Carmen, like I do see it kind of also as like Proust, wrote Swan's Way, the great book, and yeah, like Swan and Love. You could actually read the little section the chapter Swan and Love. It's kind of one part of this big book that Proust wrote, and it's like a novella within the novel. It's just, you could just read that and not read the whole Swan's Way. You could just read Swan and Love,
Yeah.
And that's like studied and studied in the colleges and stuff. So yeah, but for us, it's always been small audiences. Even when we have sit-down shows, they're under 40, 50 people, and then the experiences are more one-on-one, more personal and stuff. That so for us, it's always been intimate. We've never been, I guess, on a large scale, like. If we play a convention, we'll play to a couple hundred people at a time, or we've done some large outdoor festivals as well, where we've built a stage in the middle of Lancashire and performed on the street and stuff. But we've even played at the LACMA. We'll, like, for their costume balls during Halloween, we would haunt all three levels of their museum and stuff. So we do stuff like that, but as far as intimate, it's always intimate. So maybe now it's kind of our time to kind of like really like hone in on the intimacy of it all. But with the social distancing and with the need to be safe, and that definitely is it's a whole like main character in itself that needs to be respected and adhered to, and and everybody is extra sensitive these days. We're in an age of sensitivity, of change. Human rights are now completely the most important thing. How do the arts fill into this? How do the arts acquiesce to this age of change for human rights, for all of humanity to be together as brothers and sisters in equality? Like, where do the arts fit into that as well?
Mm-hmm.
So these are all things that we've already been a part of, maybe not even thinking about it so much, but it just makes everybody very sensitive and and all the emotions that go with all this change.
Yeah.
You know, the laughter, the tears, the insecurity, the feeling like everybody has a voice now. Everybody has a voice, and it's beautiful, and also it's a big responsibility, I think, too, in the arts. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like you see that very much as a positive, that you're forced to change in a new direction. I guess for me, I always kind of see it as like the artist is inhibited by now that there's so much input that comes from people, that people can put these petitions online, like remake this season because I didn't like the way it ended, and it always feels like are we gonna lose the ability?
Are you talking about Game of Thrones, or?
I'm talking about, well, like all different things, like Sonic the Hedgehog. They didn't like the way Sonic looked, so they redid Sonic, and
right.
Or even My Little Pony, that people put out this petition because they didn't like one of the characters got wings, and it's just like, what?
You're a big My Little Pony fan?
I have nieces.
Or?
I have nieces, but it was adult people who were doing this, and it's just strange to me that we live in a culture now where people, instead of like welcoming that theatrical experience a lot of the time, and appreciating the creation, that they're like, no, we want to have control over it. And so for me, I guess I have a different view on it than you do. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like that your creative voice is maybe under threat at all by this new area of sensitivity?
Definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
we're used to doing so for us as a company, nothing is too taboo. We don't really have an agenda. For us, it's all entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is. We have no opinion as entertainers. Zombie Joe's Underground Theater Group has no opinion on anything. We have no opinion on any issues. And it's very challenging in an age where we're all expected to have a viewpoint and an opinion, right, and a side. And so it is very challenging. And, but for us as entertainers, we have to be willing to not alienate anybody, to include everybody's beliefs, everybody's viewpoints and stuff. So it is a very challenging. And what does that look like as we grow and change and become a better race of people, a better, a race of all people, and the way it's always should have been, all this time. And with eliminating the injustices and all being included. So where do the arts fit into all of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really being redefined every day now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. There's definitely different aspects to it to be explored.
Yes.
So if people want to explore you and your shows,
Ooh.
How would they get in touch with you?
Okay, so I guess the best place to start would be zombiejoes.com, and then also we're on Insta and Twitter at zombiejoes, at zombiejoes, and also urbandeath_ZJU. It's easy enough to find us. You can call our hotline, 818-202-4120. To check in with us on Facebook. We're Zombie Joe's Underground on Facebook, and it's very easy to get in touch and to find out. If anybody's looking to see what we're doing, you could just even do a Yelp or a search and just see what it is what we're doing.
Very cool. All right, so I'm excited to see what the future holds for you guys and what new projects you're going to be coming out with.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. And I'm looking forward to getting you involved too, Napoleon.
Very cool.
If you want to get involved, and this is how it is, we're very much a community theater, probably not in the traditional community theater way, but we belong to the community. We're only still around and prevailing through all of this because of our amazing, beloved community and our supporters and our group. I mean, there's a lot of love and a lot of support for the dark our wild. It's not all dark, but some of it's very bright and it's all beautiful and it's all intense. And
Yes,
and
I'd say thought provoking as opposed to like dark. It's just because something's
yeah.
kind of it just forces you to sort of look inward and go.
If anything, if any time there's darkness, and we do experiment with energy, and we don't worship, but we, if there's any darkness, it's because we really try to dig deep into our spirits and our souls and our hearts, and really emancipate the richness of our beings. And some of that is dark, and some of that is brighter and stuff. So that's a lot of times what you'll see on stage. It's a direct emancipation and reflection of that energy that we really try to turn into entertainment for you. So that's really at the core of, going back to an earlier question. A lot of it is very hard to describe, being in the middle of it. A lot of times, like there's over 500 urban death pieces, and we're always creating new pieces. And a lot of it is sometimes people will ask us, hey, that piece that you did, and they'll describe it. I won't even know what they're talking about. Like I'll like they'll have a totally different interpretation of what I was trying to put on stage. So that happens a lot too. And a lot of it is just we're all drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak, because we're all in the middle of this phantasma that's constantly growing, and it's all about the present moment. A lot of what we do, because we do so much of it. So it's forgive me if it's like harder to describe a little bit, because it's part of it is very elusive and very it's sort of, we do a dance with this one-eyed creature that we're feeding buckets of fish to, what I mean, kind of thing. So that's how I see it.
Absolutely.
With people I love and care about. We have a general manager, Brandon Slezak, Denise Devins, our lead director, Jana Weimers, one of the great, she's our Urban Death partner. She's one of our great members, Kevin Van Cott, Christopher Reiner, composers, and we have so many amazing people, Leif Shavash and Jess Sabine and Warren Hall. There's just so many, and just these people in our group, and we're always bringing in new people too. So if anybody out there wants to get involved, we encourage you to give me a call, give us a holler, come and get involved, come see a show when they're happening, or just give a call if you want to talk art and talk theater. And we're very I'm sorry for the reflections, Bright. Sorry about that. So how's your day going, Napoleon? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I've been looking forward to this interview, so I was really excited that I got a chance to talk to you.
Oh my God. You got a great smile too.
Oh,
I just
thank
want
you.
to say, I'm sure
My
people say
mouth
that
is
all
quite
the-
large. So.
It's perfect. It's beyond perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're always available, and we get, we're always talking with everybody, and we really try to, even with the mysterious, the mysterious is the fun part of it. We try to keep it fun and mysterious.
Oh yeah.
And we're always, even within a show that we'll put up, it's always evolving and growing. We try to give the same show to everybody that will come out to that show, but it's always growing sideways with strength and intensity as we learn, and we're always learning and we're always growing. We never seem to know much of anything, really. We're always open to growing and learning, and that's what it's all about for us. Otherwise, why bother?
Exactly.
I really don't know anything. I know my name. I know what time dinner is usually, but other than that, we try not to be presumptuous about anything, and really let people express themselves, and we're all contributing, we're all serving the arts, so that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, never stagnate. Just never let it just sit there. Never rest on your laurels. I think that's great. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love.
Otherwise, why bother? Even like our real big smash sensations like Urban Death and Blood Alley and Tortured Souls and these shows that we do together, our show together, that brand. I mean, these are really big, wonderful hit shows, and we kind of get a grasp of what we're doing. But once we, oh, okay, this is what it is, it's like, even if we're selling, even if a lot of people are coming out and still excited for what we're doing, if it's not an experiment and we're not growing and learning and getting better and trying, at least trying stuff, what's the point of doing it? Then we're not really artists anymore. We're something else.
Yeah.
And not, and it's not quite as boring. So like, that's something about our group is, we're always very, no one wants to, we're always trying not to be bored. We're always trying to like try new things and move forward.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see what you move forward into. So thank you so much, Joe. And thank you for joining us today on Horrorgasm.
Thank you, Napoleon. Really appreciate you. And thanks, Jennifer. Jennifer goes by.
That's Nixie.
Nixie, okay.
She's probably going to be coming back in a minute here.
Nice. So good. Thank you for the opportunity. And I hope you guys get a chance to talk to everybody in the community for Horrorgasm and really because you'll probably get a different viewpoint from every, with what's going on and stuff and what they're doing. There's like really exciting projects for the haunt season coming up. Like, I'm really excited for this very different, unique haunt season. There's probably going to be none like it ever before. It's going to be really exciting,
It's going to have a very singular place in our history.
Absolutely.
So they're going to have to rewrite the history books. Like, the people complaining about kids don't have new history books. They're going to have to, because you can't leave this out. This is a little too intense. So.
It's intense and it's very scary, and it's really made it's made me kind of look inside and see what I'm made of and rethink, change. I've like gone through enormous changes as a person, like my level of just being transparent with artists and with people and really giving myself the space and giving everybody else the space and slowing down. Everything was really super moving at a really quick, momentous speed before all this had to slow down. So that's one good thing that's really been, it's really kind of forced me and the people, a lot of people, everyone in my life to really kind of just become better people, and inclusive too, inclusive to the people in my life, and and I want to support your life, and that's why I'm asking what you're doing, and I want to know what people are doing, and I really care deeply for the people around me, So
it's good that you're going that way instead of like retreating into yourself. And
well, there's those days too that are just like, oh my God, I'm a piece of shit. I can't even, I can't even, I'll, like, with the fear will become so immense, I'll just want to crawl into a ball in the corner. But coupled with that is just incredible freedom and exploring and love. And I really do believe that love conquers all. I believe that. And so it's been a real learning experience and a real it's been a daily, it's been exhausting, but it's been great, right?
Yeah, I think love conquers all is a great message to leave with our viewers too.
Love conquers all. We love you. Those of you viewing in, and even if you go on TikTok, you're like, you get these messages on TikTok of, or at least what comes up in my feed, hey, you're okay, everything is cool today, everything is fine, just take a deep breath, I love you. I mean, that is just unbelievable that you can find that on TikTok. Like, it's like, yes, I'm a believer. If anything, for that one little short TikTok, I'm like, thank you. Like, yes, I needed to hear that. And now I can, not just to be reminded as like a daft person, I mean, me being the daft person, By the way, do you think Daft Punk is going to be performing anytime soon? Do you think?
I don't know. One of the groups that we interviewed actually is doing a cover of a Daft Punk song.
Oh, yeah?
Digital Lizards of Doom, they just got the rights to be able to do a cover of that. And it's kind of crazy to me that they've been around for so long now that they're a band people are covering.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
but they were such innovators. I mean, with the helmets and all that kind of stuff. And you look at people like Dead Mouse, and artists who are coming out who kind of have adopted that whole thing. And it's kind of what you're doing is like where you have the costume, you have the the mask and the latex and the blood and stuff like that, and you are expressing through that. It's no longer about the person. It's no
Right.
longer about like this person. It's about this message that's being projected out, and I think that's what's pretty interesting about that.
Yeah, in Napoleon, like, I really appreciate that, and I appreciate like everything you're saying about it. It really does include that, and with the challenges that come along with that, and to express ourselves and to change lives. Like, I want to do a show that's going to change people's life and make people feel and think, and and without being preachy or without like, I want to hear what you have to say, too, and as anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's really, what do you do for a living, Napoleon?
I am a illustrator and designer, basically, and I run a podcast, the Creeping Wave Radio audio drama,
Ooh.
and then which is kind of a horror spoof conspiracy theory send up of all these different genres that kind of come together. It's kind of a horror comedy sort of thing, and then I do the UMIND, which is the podcast of the character Napoleon Doom, who is the lead character from that show, where they conduct interviews with real and not so real people.
Wow.
And so that's what I do. It's kind of fun. And
yeah, we're actually in an age where you can actually date a spirit or date a ghost.
Yes.
So yeah. I'd love to see, you're like what? I'd love to see what you do. Would you send me some links? I'd love to see.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. It was so great talking to you, Joe. Thank you so much.
This was awesome. This is amazing. Like this was like such a gift today to talk with you, Napoleon.
It is. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we're embarking on a very exciting time, and I hope we all get a chance to experience as much as possible of it, safely, with safety and love, and and caution, and with caution,
Okay. Yeah, I do too. All right. Well, take care, Joe. Hey, special thanks to Horrorgasm for collabing with me, and special thanks to Zombie Joe. If you're interested in what Zombie Joe does, you can go ahead and check out zombiejoes.com. That's where all the information is, and you connect with him on his social media links and what have you. If that ad at the top of the show piqued your interest, go to birdcagebottombooks.com/product/woods for Woods. It is a fantastic comic, and you are going to love it. You've got to check it out for yourself. Special thanks to our legendary announcer, Savage C. WHALNAR, without whom the opening of the show would be very awkward. And a super special thanks to the guy who opens and closes the show, Ethan Meixsell, the composer of the UMIND theme song, Demilitarized Zone. We love it. You love it. If you don't love it, you need to get your head straight, alright? You can go to patreon.com/lucidnap for a donation to the show and to me to help keep all this stuff going, or go to buymeacoffee.com/lucidnap for a small, non-committal one-time donation. You can also go to my personal website, lostbreadcomic.com, and you can buy art and stickers and comics. And yeah, did you know there's a comic that ties into UMIND and Creeping Wave Radio? What is Creeping Wave Radio, you might ask? Well, I'm glad you asked, because it is going to be taking over this slot for 9 episodes. It is our scripted audio drama that incorporates a whole bunch of characters from the UMIND. And yeah, it also has local San Diego musicians and musicians from beyond San Diego and beyond California who I just think need to be heard. So it is a fun time for all. I work really hard on it, and that's why it's kind of taking over the slot, because I can't deal with people going like, what? You run another podcast? Nuh-uh. It's like, yeah, I work days editing episodes. So anyway, thanks for watching or listening or whatever you're doing. You should watch, though, because I work really hard on all the graphics and stuff. Anyway, so thank you for doing that. And yes, and thank you especially to our Patreons, The Grimerica Show, Nikki Benfield, and The Lovable Neil, who we could not do this without. Probably. I don't want to find out. So, yeah. The UMIND is brought to you by LucidNet Productions in cooperation with the Scary Old Man.
I'm not that scary.
Don't
I
be
don't
so.
try to be, but I just am.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
It's BIZZONG, the weird and wacky fiction podcast. With me, your host, Mr. Frank. Every Monday, we're talking to everyone who's anyone writing weird and wacky fiction. So if you enjoy reading funny and strange books, or you enjoy writing funny and strange books, join us on BIZZONG each week to learn along with Mr. Frank. BIZZONG every Monday, a part of the Project Entertainment Network. BIZZONG! BIZZONG! BIZZONG!
This has been a presentation of the Project Entertainment Network.